money up, the money up, about to run the money up, the money up, about to run the money up, the money up. I'm next up, let them bitches know what's up.
What's up, y'all? We back with another one. It's your girl Pac'Liyah, and we are here at the Keeping It P show, keeping it real, keeping it raw, and most importantly, keeping it P. Okay, now today I have a very special guest, a big powerhouse in the music industry, a tastemaker, one of the closest DJs in Atlanta, America, all that stuff. DJ Roots Queen, make some noise. Hey, what's up, y'all? How you doing today? I'm happy to have you. Like I told you earlier, this is a full circle moment for me. But before we go into our history, I want you to tell everybody everything you do, because I know, obviously, a DJ. I know you have your own Rude Girl radio station. Like, you do a little bit of everything. So let the people know. Pop your shit.
Okay, so I'm one of those people that I'm like a problem solver. So if there's something that needs to be done, you know, after being a DJ for so long, you know, and doing marketing and planning events and helping answer artist questions and everything like that, you just kind of get really good at it. Like today, somebody asked me where's the best place to rent something from. Somebody asked me who's the best photographer. You know, I just get asked random questions. Yeah, and I have the answer. That's the thing, is they ask me because they know that I have the answer.
Period. She's Mrs. Do It All, and she's not even telling y'all. She does marketing, branding. Like, don't you do like artist development too?
Artist development, branding, marketing, support. I don't want to say management because people think that means that I'm going to be an investor.
Okay, is that what management means these days?
I don't know. I think that people, no, it doesn't. But you know, people with no industry experience, they're always going to think that type of thing. Just like they want an investor, and I was thinking about this earlier. I was going to make a thread out about it. How on earth do you think that somebody would ever say, yeah, I should invest in that person? You don't even have a clear plan of what their return on their investment is, or do you even know what that is, or what ROI is?
ROI.
You might be looking for a grant, baby.
True, something that you don't gotta pay back.
Yes.
Listen, she already dropping.
If you don't even have that type of idea in your head about how it could actually benefit this person.
True.
Outside of you know, altruistically benefiting them. You know, that's the thing. They think that they try to, like, you know, tug at people's altruistic heartstrings. Like, that's
like,
good.
just believe in me, but it's like, if it don't make money, it don't make sense.
It doesn't even matter when you got like hundreds of people saying that same thing to you every day.
It just gets
it's like,
watered
where's the
down.
pitch? Where's the pitch? Yeah.
Dang, it makes you kind of numb to it, and like, you gotta come with some type of business.
And honestly, I really be needing somebody else to tell me about you. When somebody else starts talking about you and the DJ starts telling me this is what's hot, then you might as well have something. And when I find artists that do my music review and I find that I like their music, I have no problem when they'll be like, who's hot right now, this indie? And I'll be like, this song is hot, this person won this review. Dude, you know, that's
I already know this about to be a good conversation. She don't play, y'all. Like, okay. Let's see. I know you chewing on your mint. Let me let you finish chewing on your mint right now. I felt bad.
I told you I can't.
I know.
I don't want to crunch it up.
We're gonna cut.
If I crunch it up, it'll be loud.
Exactly. I'm like, yeah. As we're talking.
I told you.
She said. I didn't ask her what she does.
I know. It'll take like an hour and a half to you know.
Well, it's the Keep P show, so real shit be
Yes,
happening.
it does.
Anyway, so I want to know, like, tell me about like Little Roots Queen. Like, before you became like a DJ, where did that name even come from?
Okay, well, I was not little when I got the name. So I used to DJ for a band called Rocksteady in Tampa, Florida. And they were a ska and rocksteady band. I was pretty involved in the hip hop and reggae and dancehall scenes in Tampa, where I'm from, before I moved to Atlanta at 21. So I was pretty involved in that scene with the dancehall community, like Herky C. That was the sound that I was signed to. It was called Poison Dart Sound. I did a lot of in between playing my turntables with, you know, roots records and dub reggae records. Like, I used to travel with bands, one drop. You know, just when a band's setting up and has intermissions, you know, you got music playing. So, so one of the owners of the lead singer of that band, he said on the mic that night, everybody give it up for the Roots Queen. And I was like, that's the name right there.
Okay,
so kind of between names. My first DJ name was actually DJ Manga. I was a drum and bass DJ first, so I was like, I don't want to say say drum and bass because that's just too broad. I was a raga jungle DJ, so all the raga jungle that we liked, it was like, pull out up against my selector, and like shit like that, So because I'm from Florida, but we're like huge dance hall fans in Florida, kind of like how people in Atlanta, everybody in Atlanta is a Little John fan. Everybody likes crunk and snap music. White people, black people, don't even matter. Same shit in Florida. Everybody is a huge reggae fan, like. It's like a whole state
from the Virgin Islands, so
so it's just kind of in us, So I was like, that makes sense.
And then there was DJ Roots Queen. What made you want to be a DJ?
Well, okay, so in Tampa we had a world-class elite rave scene there that kind of started it all for what's going on today. Tampa, Orlando, Miami, Florida just really had a world-class rave scene to the point to where there's actually a group on Facebook that's called. There's actually a group on Facebook that's called. I raved in Florida in the 90s, and it's got like 30,000 people in it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they post like old pictures and stuff.
So you've been doing this since
97.
You've been
a kid. I was a kid.
How did your parents feel about that?
Well, okay. So the whole reason I started going to raves is because I lost my dad unexpectedly in a car accident.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was like that kind of had everything to do with it, and then we weren't 21 at the time, so a lot of times we had to like hang out at the park or hang out like on the streets around in front of the club because we couldn't really get in. We were too young. But we would end up at the after party, and they would always have some turntables at the after party. Because sometimes some after parties would go on 48 hours, 72 hours.
Okay, what y'all call them in Florida? Let out? Like
yeah. Lock it or let out. But sort of, but we wasn't really like that. People would go on dummy missions and go on missions and shit like that. But they would have like, nitrous tanks. And it was the 90s.
Y'all was lit.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I was born.
It was like when ecstasy, was first out on the scene. It was like when it was good. That's why I feel like I don't know, like when I go to these like cute little events, I'm like, oh, there's mushrooms in here. Somebody said these cookies have ecstasy in them. I was like, what? What do you mean the cookie has ecstasy in it? I was like, you mean that my face is gonna fall off if I eat that cookie, or you're lying?
I like Drake when he was like still stick with the weed and the liquor these days because the new girls got the kids tripping. I don't even be trying to shit out. And I'm not gonna lie, if I was to try something, I gotta be at home.
Yeah, that's
I gotta be at home.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to go on like a trip, like a little shroom trip.
The shroom trips at home are the best. I definitely can't. I don't do shrooms anymore, but when I was a kid and I was younger in my 20s and stuff, I definitely did. And it was always better to be home. Now the rolls, they were like really good, but the last time I rolled, I think we went to see like John Digweed in Orlando, and it was like 1999.
I'm gonna watch this and be like, you wanna do what? You need to be careful, they be lacing stuff.
We know that, that's why we don't do it anymore, but you can also test your drugs, just so you know they have fentanyl testing strips everywhere, and they are free.
Be safe, guys.
But also, listen, I'm trying to tell you, I know that everyone wants to chase what we had in the 60s and in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and stuff. Well, not really the 80s, because, that was like freebase era. But, like people want to chase that, but I just want to say, like, you're not really missing out because it's not the same anymore. It's like you weren't there, just watch that on video. Like, it's not worth like dying because somebody putting some fentanyl on your shit. Just
don't do drugs.
No, don't
do drugs. Dare. We need to get a sponsorship from Dare.
We do need a sponsorship from Dare. It's just not the same. But I will brag about what kind of fun we used to have.
Okay, it is what it is.
It is.
I wish I could get a little time machine and go back. So, okay, you said you came to Atlanta when you were 21?
Yeah, I did.
So what was that like transitioning from the Florida music scene to Atlanta? Like, what was the big difference?
So none, and I'm gonna tell you how it happened. Okay, so basically, at the after parties, that's when I was like, looked at the turntable, play around a little bit, and then got me a pair and bought vinyl, and had the shit set up. So that was how I started. Was just like at after parties because we didn't finish that part because we got sidetracked. And then to Atlanta, nothing changed. Like within day 2 that I was in Atlanta, I already had a residency at Nomenclature, which used to be called Wild Peach. I don't know what it's called anymore. But and then I was like DJing at the side room. Strokers has like a venue to the left. I don't think it's open anymore, but we was like doing drum and bass parties there. I was like at Masquerade, Concrete Jungle. It was like very easy to master. The drum and bass scene back then was like really, really small. It was really easy to meet people.
Right.
A lot of people in Tampa and Atlanta already knew each other. They already knew Misty Kiss and Paulie and all the people that we knew from back and forth. So it was just like really easy. I would say way more easier than it is now.
So being like a female DJ, did you have to like overcome so many obstacles? Were you getting like tried because you were a woman? How was that?
I didn't deal with none of that shit real bad until like 2020. I mean, I did deal with it, but it was worse than 2020. No, like, and then 2000s and stuff like that. I don't know. It was just like different. Like, no.
Everybody was just chilling.
Ever since 2016, everybody's lost their damn minds. Hipster era was different. Nobody acted like that.
Yeah.
Nobody acted like that at all.
So how they be acting now then?
Now, just weird. Like, every time I walk up to a club, I just notice something, like, weird. Like, every time I walk up to a club, I usually bring an assistant or something with me to carry my stuff so I don't get hot and sweaty.
Okay.
And they're always like, oh, you're the DJ? And, like, point at, and think the person, like, you know, the sound people, they never assume the woman is the DJ.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why. There's a lot of female DJs out there that are not good.
Clock it. It is what it is.
Yeah, and so I feel like even though I'm a pioneer of this shit, it's like I have to deal with the repercussions of shit like that. And especially, you know, the way that things trend and things like that, like, no, like, the way people hate on white girls online is like new. It was
That was
never
about to be
like
my
that.
next question.
It was never like that before. But you know what? I'm so solid on what I stand on. You know, you got to remember who my best friend and who I came up in this shit was, and that was Speaker Fox. We are not regular type of white girls.
Okay.
So when we walk in the room, motherfuckers stand in line to try to get our origin story because they cannot read us.
Yeah, it's not giving
I'm like, bitch,
Valley
go
Girl.
walk the fucking, watch the interview.
Yeah.
This is not giving none of that.
It's not giving like typical stereotypical,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Because that's what I was about to say, like being
Stereotypes
white,
online is bad.
yeah, being like, you know, you want to say Jewish, I'll be like,
Yeah,
white, my
like,
bad.
I didn't
but
know I was Jewish till I was 19, so.
screaming. Being Caucasian,
Mhm.
we're trying to sound all proper.
Light skin.
Okay, and a female, I'm like expecting you to deal with hella backlash or hella pushback or, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I would say if they don't know what it is, it's not really hella pushback or hella or anything like that. It's not hostile. It's like, for example, a couple weeks ago, we go to the Hickory House, this redneck place, to eat breakfast, and all of a sudden I'm the center of attention, and everybody in the restaurant is talking about my hair because they like my damn hairdo, and it's just more so they don't realize that they're like, I was like, I'm gonna go change my hair right after I leave here because
It's a statement.
it was, but I just was like trying to blend in.
Yeah, trying to be low key.
Yeah, I just be trying to be low key and blend in sometimes too. So sometimes when it's like pointed out that I'm the only white girl or
Yeah.
say something about me being white, I know that nobody means anything by it or anything like that. But sometimes it's like, shh, I'm trying to just blend in a little bit. I'm already the
Like,
only
why
white
can't I just
person
be a
here.
person?
Yeah, that's why I just don't really have to even have the ego to even have main character energy because I'm like, I got bright red hair and a blonde streak on the side. I'm the only white person in here. Every motherfucker in here saw me. So I don't even have to deal with main character energy. So that's why I'm able to use my platform and be like, hey, this person, that person, this person.
Do you get recognized, like, just out and about?
Yeah, I really try to look as shitty as possible. Like, especially when I'm in Decatur, like,
Yeah.
headband, back, no makeup, hoodie.
Just like
friggin-
basic.
Yeah, I might have some pajama pants on. Who cares? It's Decatur, you know?
Would they be like, DJ, are you DJ Rose Queen?
Sometimes when I have
Yeah.
like my hair down and done, they do. But if I put it like in a bun and like have my workout band and like my
They
glasses
can't see
on,
that strip.
yeah,
You gotta hide that strip and blend right in. That's like a little skunk look. Yeah, that definitely makes you stand out. Okay, so I've been following you for a while now. What made you start a radio station? Like, what made you start like your own radio station?
Well, my friend Fletcher Botts came up with the idea. He was working for DJ Clue at the time, branding his radio station, Desert Storm Radio. So he reached out to me because he thought I would be perfect for them, and I came up with the name. I was already working on like a dub mixtape called Rude Girl Rock, and I was like, oh, Rude Girl Radio, that'd be hot.
I feel like you got that from your island roots, Rude Gal.
Yeah, Rude, yeah, but I wanted it to be Rude Girl though because I have a friend that's Rude Gal Entertainment. You see what I'm saying? So Rude Girl Radio, Rude Gal Entertainment. I just, I'm not trying to fight anybody or anything.
Sure.
And that way, I always think that it's better with brands, and especially, it's like, hey, where can we find you online? And they're like, certified, but the E is a 3, or is a
Trying to
Z
keep
here.
it
It's trying to be
simple.
so trendy. Like, just spell shit normal sometimes so people can find your shit online.
Okay, that's a tip for y'all. Spell shit normal so people can find you easily.
Especially your damn Instagram handle.
And all underscores and zeros for the
My
O
son
and
does
shit.
that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but is he trying to do something creative?
Yeah, he's a producer, so.
Did you get him into that?
Me and his dad did. He's been producing. My son's been producing since he was 6, and his dad is already a multi-platinum producer. So.
Period. Okay, power couple. Let's talk
No,
about
no, 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 no. That's my baby daddy, baby. No, no, no. We not no power couple.
This is two separate.
Yeah, I got a whole different man. Yeah.
But he be in music too, though, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's my manager. He's like more on the business side of things. So he just makes sure that all the tech is like always up and running. He's the person that taught me to be the solution finder. So he's the one that taught me how to do it all. So.
Is it easy working with your husband?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
How about you?
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
they always think they know best and try to tell us what to do, and I gotta like fall in line. And when I have got 10 years experience from him now, so maybe trust that I might know a little something. I learned from you. I learned from you, right?
For me,
okay.
I feel like for me, see, I kind of brought my husband into this.
Okay.
He has a musical background, but industry-wise, I got him like wanting to do this.
Industry. Okay, so it's probably a different dynamic.
So I feel like sometimes I'm hard on him because it's like, since you're bugging me, I take my anger out. Like, why isn't this right? Like, I be stressing him out.
Okay,
sometimes.
so yeah, I feel you on that because we definitely do that to each other. And you know what? Relationships are not easy, especially when you have kids together and stuff like that. And we have to literally put on a smiley face so much in the world. That when we're around our family and our mask accidentally comes off, we need to be forgiving.
Yeah.
I could not. I would have known the type of shit that I was going to be forgiven that me and this man had said and done to each other. Not cheating, but just like mean shit, just like fights, just
being a person and just not trying to deal with you 24/7. But I feel like we work together pretty well, but it was a lot for me to try to open up and for him to feel comfortable merging with me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that part too.
So now he's like, I'm trying to find my own thing so that, he
Oh no.
But he's like my secret weapon though.
Yeah.
He knows, he's such
so
a
just
hip hop
support
head.
his own thing.
And girls, so I told you,
you feel about that like me.
he does the DJing, but he's like, he can go find artists like his mindset. He's like an A&R. This man, he's Atlanta down. He knows everything about Atlanta culture, Atlanta hip hop. So he making me look cool.
That's the thing about the artists that they always think that they be like, oh, it's not about the talent. It's about being charismatic and can you get folks talking about you? When you walk in the room, does everybody tap each other on the shoulder and say, hey, that's so-and-so?
Let's get into that. What makes you want to spin the artist music? Let's talk about that. Artists, y'all need to listen because look at her getting that serious face. What make you want to play somebody's music?
I mean, to be honest with you, it's like the things that make me want to play somebody's music is that shit a hit or not? I know exactly what a hit sounds like. I personally like music as well as hip hop, new, old, it doesn't even matter. Like, I'm just a fan of all of it. And I learned to be that way because you're not, like my dad, I'm sure like he didn't like all the music that I listened to, but he would still listen to rap and shit in the car with me too,
Period.
I didn't necessarily want to hear all the shit he wanted to listen to, but I would still like sing the songs now and have that memory. So I think that it's not always about like whether you like a song or not. You
just gotta have an ear for it.
You know what? It's like everybody wanted to complain about this song or that song, but it's like we didn't like Wilson Phillips in the 80s and we still sing that shit now.
It's timeless. So let me ask you, what if somebody has good music and you feel like it's a hit, but everything else is like not the point?
There's nothing we can talk about.
So you gotta have their business intact.
I'm gonna tell you why, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what the fuck I do for somebody like that, because it's not gonna work. Because they don't even have the right mindset. You see what I'm saying?
Period. I do.
Like an artist like True Car that came through last night. Like I'm telling you right now, like if I was a millionaire, I would like literally give that man a grant. There's like artists that I see them work and they come through, they interview well, like they've already got some shit popping. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to like get money off them. I would like rather give them a grant and then if they make some money with it, decide how they'd like to reimburse me. I know people don't do business like that, so I can't do business like that.
You could if you wanted to.
A lot of times I do. Yeah. So basically, this is what it is. If I come looking for you, and I need you to perform or come for interviews and stuff like that, I always got you on some marketing. Put you on shows. If you don't need the show and I need you for the show, you definitely got hella favors and stuff like that. But if you don't got shit going on and you don't even know what you're doing all the way, and you're coming to me and you're asking me to help you, I have promotional charges and there's fees for that part because I didn't come looking for you. You see what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
It's like, think about how offended you get when somebody comes looking for you about something they got. And you're like, oh, sure, I would like that. And then they try to charge you. And they're like, wait a bitch, I wasn't even looking for this.
Record scratch.
Yeah. Right.
That's funny. Okay, I know you got your ear to the streets. You said one thing earlier. You was like, what makes you also want to play an artist music is if you've been hearing a lot about them. Give me your 3 right now. Who you've been hearing a lot? Who you will spend? You have to spend 3 new artists right now. Who are they?
I would definitely spin Boo 5 for sure. I would definitely also spin. Well, he's my friend, Runway Richie. We've been down for like this has been my friend from way back. But I love his new Damn Bass song. That shit is a certified hit. I really love it. I actually, how I figure out something's a hit or not is like, can I listen to it 3 times in a row and be like, oh, I want to hear that again. I want to hear that again.
3 times in a row.
Yep. And then the other artist, I'm going to tell you, it's really 2, the EKE and True Car. Those 2, they're definitely going to make it.
Period. Y'all heard it here first. Okay.
Pac'Liyah, she's going to make it. I got a few. Like, I got a few that I seen from the very beginning.
I love that. Okay. Who do you feel like right now? This is a little. You gotta keep it P.
Okay.
Who is overrated right now? You feel like name like 3 overrated. Like you feel like people are just kind of riding the wave.
Man, there's so many that are overrated right now. I feel like Rob 49 is overrated right now. I don't feel like his beats aren't. I don't like the beats that much, and his voice. He needs to evolve a little more. You know, it's catchy. What the hell he is catchy and everything like that. But when you actually listen to the song, it doesn't even really sound all that good. It's like you could tell that it didn't go to our mastering house.
Screaming.
You know? But I do like Rob 49 though. I like the right mama, da-da-da-da-da mama. But you can't just like keep doing the other thing. Like Burner Boy did that for a second. You know, he was trying to do that same shit that he did on the and all that same shit that he was doing on the
trying to ride that one thing.
You know, you gotta switch it up. You are not like that is not an ad-lib. Like I don't really think singing necessarily is an ad-lib. An ad-lib would be more like zaga zaga za, you know, something
zaga
you say, zaga zaga za, you know what I'm saying, right?
No,
like
for
what
real.
you're known for, or hey yo, you know, or it's like an elephant.
You know who was good with ad libs? Rich Homie Quan.
Rich Homie Quan was so good.
Rich Homie Quan was so good.
When he died, I listened to his music for like 90 days, just like on title, on play.
R.I.P. to Rich Homie Quan. Give 2 little seconds of silence, cause
I'm still not over that one.
No, that fucked everybody up. That my husband, he was tore about that shit too. That was You know, I
had DJ'd for him one of his last shows before he like went silent.
Wow.
A3C 2017. Actually, his DJ couldn't make it fresh, and they called me last minute to do the show. Oh, it was crazy. Okay, well that was a crazy show. Okay, so this is what I mean when I say what DJs do. Ralph's like, I want a DJ perform this song, and they're next, right? And OJ's up there now, and he's like, I want to perform on Mariah, but can you take out Birdman's verse?
Oh,
so it can go ran up a check to
straight to the next.
Straight to Ralph's verse.
Damn.
And so I literally did the shit in Reaper like behind the fucking
you did that behind
the stage on the A3C stage and like passed it to Zay to put the.
How did you do that? Just you had to like chop it up and then.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we had headphones, and I was like squatting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I know how to do it easily. So.
That's a lot.
And then okay, so what ended up happening? There was no Wi-Fi out there, right?
Oh, fuck.
And Fresh didn't send a file till we were like already on stage, and so I'm going to download the WeTransfer, and I'm on my hotspot. That shit took fucking 25 minutes to download, and I'm not even kidding.
Pressure people don't know.
Dude, like I'm looking at him down there, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, because he knows what's going on with the Wi-Fi. And then they're like literally right as they were saying his name, they're like, Rich, homie, Quan. I was like downloading, and I was like, oh, like that,
30 seconds on the clock.
No, not even a second.
Damn.
Like that's the synchronicity of it all.
That's a historical story. I love that. Have you ever told anybody that story?
And I usually try to tell it in every interview now.
Okay, period. I love that.
I couldn't believe that shit. So the people that know me, that have seen what I really do behind the stage, I think that I also did that for another record that we did that day too. I've done that for Young Scooter before when we did the Battle of the Catalogs. That was in 2016. That was in 2016, and so we did, okay. Right for the highway, whoa. I don't want to say, I can't say the words, you know.
I know what you're talking
about. You know
what
I'm talking about.
Oh.
That's why I did that with my face, because I was like, you know that song, oh.
the one part I know. You said that part.
Well, I know what he's saying. I can't say any of that though. Peter
What
saying
is it?
it.
Do I know what he's saying?
When I ride for my whoa, and I ride on the highway, or something like that.
I know the song, but I can't think of the words.
So, Future is the first one on that. But we had to cut his verse out because we had Scooter out there like, whatever Scooter was saying. Yeah, as the DJ, it's like, I've been knowing like the little words just enough to like turn up on the mic or put my arm up. But I'm like listening to the beats and focusing on where I'm at in the phrasing of the record. So I know like how much time I got left, when does the hook come in, when do I need to throw it so it lands perfectly. Because that's what
the mastermind with this shit.
No, I'm trying to tell you, that's what the female and a lot of DJs aren't doing. Their mixes aren't landing because they're not paying enough attention to the structure.
Period. So if you can give some female DJs some tips right now, because I don't like the fact that female DJs are being slept on, but it's
but some of them do need to get better.
Yeah.
Focus on that phrasing, sis, because when I hear you mix in and mix out, it doesn't land like you think it's landing. People just like the song, or people don't even care, I had one DJ, she was like mixing in front of me, and I was like, you need your BP. I was like, put that BPM with that. She's like, it doesn't matter that much. 99 and 100, when you're mixing two records together on the dance floor, unless you want a complete train wreck or shoes in the dryer, it has to be exact.
She said shoes in the dryer.
Yes. Boom, boom, boom. That can happen real quick, and I've seen that happen a few times, and I'm just like, it was female DJs. I was just like, I was working merch at a rave, and I was like,
would you ever consider like trying to like take a couple of them under your wing?
I do that all the time already.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Is it like a thing they have to pay for, or is it
sometimes,
like off the string?
It depends.
So y'all hit her up for DJ
It depends
classes.
on if they're signing to me or not.
So you got a label with
I
it
want
now.
to. Yeah, I've got one that I think I want to sign. I only didn't sign her before because she like refused to beat mix, and I'm like, you got to be able to do it all. So listen, female DJs, what I really want them to do is go fucking play with some turntables and some vinyl, please. DJing is so much more fun than you guys even realize that it is.
Vinyl.
Man, I got my turntables out with these two chicks one night. And I had my control vinyl. I didn't even use my control vinyl. I used a real battle record, and I brought out my old needles, my Shore needle. Man, that shit felt like butter.
So you had the needle on the
actual... Yeah, I started DJing like that. I'm a turntablist. I'm a turntablist. I am a turntablist.
So is that different from the ones that come with them little turntables on it? I don't know.
Way different. Yeah. Listen, I'm a turntablist purist, really. I just play on whatever because it's like I'm not carrying that shit around.
I didn't know that was a word, turntablist.
Really?
Girl, you just taught me some shit.
Like the little girl be like,
oh,
I'm not that good like that anymore. I'm not that good.
With the one headphones on, looking like they in a house party.
Yeah. I'm not that good anymore like that. I could be if I practiced or whatever, but honestly, right now I'm making more money marketing, so learning that shit, it didn't like get me any more gigs or bookings or pay more.
You're cool as fuck.
Thank you.
You're very cool. I'm so happy you came. Mm-hmm. I want to ask you about marketing, but since we on this topic of like all these Atlanta legends you don't work with, and I even know you're from Tampa, it's giving Atlanta legend.
Yeah.
How the hell did you get in tune with Zaytoven?
So this is how that happened. DJ Clue, I'm doing his radio station, Ruger Radio. Tracy Steele gave me this booking that she couldn't do all of, and she needed me to come in and DJ with her, and it was called the Preview Trade Show. Mm-hmm. And the guy that was running it was managing Juicy at the time, and he booked me. I don't even think I got paid. I just did it anyways. Like, sometimes you just do shit. And
you got to.
And I did a good ass job too. But I did Jeezy's shoe launch when he did drop his gourmet shoes in 2013. I still have some in storage.
Period.
And so that was like really what set everything off right there. And then just going out networking, hanging out with different DJs and different people too, and making friends and stuff. Not because I didn't want anything from them. I just wanted to be friends with them and be around them because I love their energy and things like that. We were like very like-minded and similar. So then I met Drummer Boy, and Drummer Boy got me a job at Silhouette, which was called Platinum 21 now. And I was already talking to Zay's people because one of the hosts on my show was one of his artists, but really, I saw a picture of Robin Fly at the time when she was doing her little thing, and they're like, Zaytown Sorority Robin Fly, and I was like, that's the type of chick I need to DJ for. And I was like, how do I sign up for Zaytown Sorority? On Facebook, and my man seen it, and then, we ended up meeting, and we didn't date for like a year, like 6 months to a year before that, but that was how that happened. We just started spending a lot of time together. But I already had my own thing going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Been
Like,
having motion.
yeah, I had been having motion. He really first came in to just do radio because we were changing from, I was moving away from Desert Storm Radio, not for any reason other than they were trying to charge me money. Because at first I didn't have to pay. But I wasn't charging any of those artists coming on or anything like that. So I wasn't making money off of my radio show to be able to pay them for the space. So I was like, yeah, you know.
It's not making sense.
Yeah, and I'm listen, and this is the thing. I'm fucking interviewing YFN Lucci.
Okay.
Young Dolph is fucking walking up in here. Tracy T is walking up in here. Future is walking up in here. You should really be paying me. I'm not fucking paying you $100.
Pocket.
You know? And even though those artists, but of course, nobody cared at that time. They were like, oh, nobody cares who your artists are. No one's like, nobody cares who your artists are.
And so you like, I've been working with them since then. And now they're probably looking at you now like, fuck.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Make them regret it.
Yeah, but you know,
that.
me and Clue are still cool as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was like other people running his business anyways. You know what I'm saying? Like I just didn't want to. But I'm still friends with all those people. You know, business is business sometimes.
Yeah.
You know. So that's who runs my station now till this day. We actually just got a new server. So that was why we were hanging out so much as we were doing like radio stuff. And I was like, if I had a boyfriend, they would be like really jealous of this guy. I was like, I should just make him my boyfriend.
Chess moves.
And I felt like he liked me. You know what I mean? I'm pretty intuitive enough to know like when somebody's interested in me.
Yeah.
And now, and I went against like all of everything, any kind of guy that I wanted in my 20s. No drugs. He can be a veteran, or I would have never dated anybody from that had ever been in the military in my 20s. I was like such a fucking hippie rasta, like dance hall queen, hipster.
It's giving hipster. Your personality is like young and free.
Hipster, yeah, I'm telling you, I'm a hipster through and through. Like I'm like a exennial hipster because it's like I'm too young to be Gen X because I was born in '79.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't really always get the Gen X experience because like I grew up with millennials. I'm born in '79. My best friend was born in '82. You know what I mean?
It's
like
it's
what's the
a gap.
Yeah, it's not a gap like that. You know what I mean? So, but to answer your question about that, the thing I was going to finish up with it was what I did. I had a booking for a Dub Car Show. This was back in 2015, and I hired him to manage me, make sure I got there. Just like there's some business going on with the people that I didn't like. So I just brought him in with me,
so he can talk to them.
Yeah,
be like a buffer.
Right, exactly. So I flew him up there, got a nice hotel, and told him that I was like, hey, listen, I think that you're a really great manager. I know bitches don't even be moving like this. So so I stepped to a real man the proper way, or whatever Kevin Singer will say.
Okay.
But fuck him. But rest in peace.
Okay, but rest in peace is crazy.
No, I don't agree with everything he said about women.
He's too mean. On him because I never really listened.
He's just too mean as fuck and too judgy. Like just mean as fuck, judgy. He's got all these little assholes, like being little judgmental assholes. It's like they couldn't even. It was like, after God, they don't ever need the grace. They just refuse to extend to anyone ever.
I'm screaming. No,
Really?
Yeah, I saw a couple videos. I know, but I never really got into it.
It's okay for them to have 8 baby daddies, but you over here talking about sis over here. You know what, motherfuckers? I feel like, this is my Miss Kevin Samuels moment. I feel like it should be mandatory for men to have not even just a hospital, but men in hospitals, it should be mandatory for them to give you a tummy tuck right after you have your baby.
No,
6 weeks later.
Yeah.
That should be a part of recovery care.
Men should have to take birth
Or
control.
that, just something like that. I'm trying to tell you right now, if a woman has a baby for you and her stomach look crazy and you go out and you're the worst kind of piece of shit possible, go get that bitch a fucking tummy tuck.
Get her back right.
Right. You can't fix that all the time.
Therapy, a tummy tuck. She need to be on work for
She might need a whole mommy makeover.
Yeah.
She might, sometimes when these babies breastfeed, they suck the life out of our tits. And we need,
Let's talk about it. Let's not talk about it.
No, let's not. But they just never have any idea. So that's why women, why we rap the way that we do and shit like that. You gotta have a bag and shit like that. Because you want us to have a baby for you? And you can't even make our lives easy.
So you like when women pop their shit on the record?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's you can't even make our life easy. You know how listen, you know these damn kids is annoying as hell, or you would be the one keeping them all day.
Okay. So do you feel like when people talk shit about, I thought we done got off topic
No,
about the
we
whole
didn't.
thing.
No, it's okay.
Do you want to finish telling
No,
that
I
story
did.
real quick?
No, I did. I finished
Okay,
the
because
story.
you said thinking like a real man.
Yeah, no, I finished that.
Okay,
That
I
was
was like,
the story.
damn, I feel bad.
No, that was the story.
Cool, period. Okay, so do you feel like when they say, oh, like women, we make like pussy rap, and they say it's not women empowerment, is there a fine line behind?
No, there's not. Listen,
Okay.
these motherfuckers that are my friends and that I love made a song that that you was fucking a bitch while the baby's sucking dick. Pregnant Pussy by UGK. Yeah. Pregnant pussy is the best something, and yeah, and he's like, yeah.
There's been a couple references of like
Listen,
fucking
that song,
women.
Pregnant Pussy, is like the most heinous record. I listen to that shit like and laugh, and I think it's great. But yeah, it is raunchy as fuck. So So this is my thing. I'm sorry, but how fucking backwards is that? That a man can rap about our vaginas and shit, but we can't. You gotta be fucked up. I'm gonna say it, and it is empowering. I don't care what they say, it is.
Yeah.
Because it's freedom of speech, and if men hadn't written thousands of songs about our pussies, then maybe you might have a point. But anything that you say is just kind of like
contradicting.
It's not even contradicting. It's like canceled out because of that.
Yeah, it's like a hypocrite.
Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.
And now bitch like, I'm a hoe, I'm a trick, and I'm doing, and now y'all mad.
Right, you called us that. Yeah, you literally called us that.
That's crazy. I love it how supportive you are of women. I love how you like to drop gems. I love how you got an ear for artists, and like you seem like you're just a really genuine person.
Definitely.
It's just giving so thorough, and your energy, I don't know if they can feel it through the camera, but it's so bubbly and shiny. Like, what tips would you give for like anybody in the industry? Just drop some gems for artists, whether it's a manager or anybody.
Okay, the gems that I'm gonna drop are this: like, just be strategic with where you go and how long that you're there. Even I have to be told this sometimes, and I don't be wanting to leave and having fun, or artists is about to come that I'm gonna miss. Like, for example, the night that I met you, it was a lot for me to be like, no, I need to stay and watch her, and because my manager is like very adamant about that. When I say leave, let's leave. First of all, motherfucker, no. I'm doing something.
Okay.
Leave me behind if you want. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes I just feel it. So that night he wasn't tripping about that. But it is true. After a certain point, when shit could get rowdy, it might be time to like leave. You know, getting enough sleep is important. Definitely getting enough sleep is important. Drinking a ton of water. Watching how much alcohol you drink. You don't need to drink all the time. Like I do drink. Okay, I'm not gonna say that I don't. But I literally only drink if I like have to DJ somewhere or I'm like going to an event. So what'll happen too is I start going to too many events in a row, and then I have to just like, don't drink at this one, don't drink at this one, because that's like the worst thing for you.
Yeah.
That and smoking, of course, which I don't do very good at all the time either. So I gotta pick one.
Okay, pick one. I cannot crossfade, especially when I'm out in public and I'm trying to like work or have to perform. I do not like to drink or smoke before I perform.
Oh really?
I be getting hot. Like
see, I have pain. I be having pain.
I can't do it.
I be having pain and anxiety. Yeah, see, for me, I smoked before I came here, but I be having pain and anxiety, which I'm definitely finally getting better from. But the main time that I really use marijuana or might need a drink or something like that is if I'm on my period. Because, you know, like you have to go somewhere and be bright and bubbly, and you're like, I don't know, it's just sometimes it's just this feeling in your head. It's just so yeah, you feel so drained, you know, so drained, and you got to show up and be somewhere anyways. Red Bull, blunt, fucking 2 shots of tequila, and you'll be good to go.
And she good to go.
Yeah.
I'm screaming. So
as Advil.
And Red Bull, blunt, Advil. Okay. This is my famous question. What does keeping it P mean to you?
Keeping it P means keeping it player, keeping it 100, keeping it real, all those things. And you know, it's crazy that you ask them, what does keeping it P mean? What kind of podcast is this?
Oh, husband, don't be trying to.
Yeah, he acts like that with me.
People love my
I was like, you know what? I'm like, you don't know keeping it P, pushing P, keeping it P. You don't know what that means.
Okay,
like,
it's okay.
You
gotta
know,
put him on.
I tried to put him
The
on.
P stands for
Keeping it
put him on game.
Keeping it, yeah, keeping it P, keeping it player. Like really just being authentic and honest.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like people just aren't honest enough anymore.
I feel like you're hella honest.
Well, you know what? When you're honest and you actually know what you're talking about and you're educated and things like that, you end up not sounding like a dumbass on the camera, and you can ramble and people are like, oh, they spitting facts. They spitting facts.
You came here, you talked your shit. You spoke facts. You didn't care what you had to say. Very much unfiltered. I loved it. Some people probably wouldn't have said who they feel like is overhyped right now because they don't want to step on nobody's toes. But you said it, and I appreciate that.
But no, but the problem is like that's the thing. I do feedback for a living.
Yeah.
For artists.
True.
So when I say things about somebody, I never mean it like a hater. You know, haters also be like, "Fuck you, kill yourself." And that's like hater energy. I want the best for Rob 49. I want more shit like Mama. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd be very critical of all my artists. Yeah. Cardi, I'd be critical of Cardi or all this girl like she don't need to be wearing. And then when I say honest, I don't even necessarily mean like I don't necessarily run and go say that all the time either. It's about how you give feedback.
True.
Like I had an artist where I didn't necessarily like her outfits because she was very heavy set and it was just, she could still be sexy and things like that. And I was like, you know what? I was like, you need a costume designer.
True.
Because I had seen her boob popping out at the performance and everything like that. And I told her, I was like, you need to do a dress rehearsal.
True. I like you.
And I said, you need a costume designer. There's certain ways. Yeah. Like the other girl, their costumes